Larry here with 7th Stage Law School Prep and another stick figure exam tip. This one is in the area of criminal law or torts, and the tip is to organize in order of injury. I have tutoring students who often ask, how do I actually organize my exam in terms of the overall macro structure? And you're given a couple of options. I suppose you could come up with more, but one that I've seen on exams is by crime. First listings say all of the murders together, all of the assaults together, all of the rapes together. By defendant, all of the crimes committed by Charles Manson, all of the crimes committed by Squeaky Fromm, wherever they occur in the fact pattern. And the last one is by injury. I think by far this is the superior way to organize your exam. Now you notice that I say by crime here, but this also applies to torts, which is very similar to criminal law. It's simply, I think, the civil analog for criminal liability to a great extent. So really only by injury is actually chronological. The other options, and I'll give you an example of this in a minute, kind of force you to violate the order of the fact pattern and force you to have to read the facts multiple times. You have to jump around to organize by crime or by defendant. And to me, this causes two problems. It's inefficient. You have to read the fact pattern several times. And that's a bad thing when you have limited time to deal with an exam and to pump out as many good claims as defenses as you can find. It's also a problem because you can end up taking a scattershot approach to reading, and this gives rise to the danger that you're going to miss claims because you're jumping around all over the fact pattern. So in the end, by injury is the easiest and most efficient way to find claims, and I'll prove this to you. So this is a pictorial and crappily drawn representation of a fact pattern. So excuse the dated references. Here's Harry Potter. You can see the glasses. And he just gets tired of Ron because Ron ends up marrying Hermione, and Harry's jealous because J.K. Rowling says Harry should have been with Hermione all along. So here, Harry just murders Ron. Then bad Harry goes and finds Hermione and rapes her. Then out of nowhere, Hagrid, who looks a lot like, I don't know, one of the ghosts from Pac-Man, goes and robs a 7-Eleven for a really big gulp because he's a really big guy. And then Harry uses this muggle weapon to rob Hagrid, and poor Hagrid has to hand over his big gulp. Then Hermione, traumatized by the rape, goes and finds Harry and rapes him and murders him in cold blood. And then, just to round things off, Hagrid has consensual sex with Hermione, but it's statutory rape because she's obviously, a young one. Now, in going over these facts, ask yourself, which is the best way to organize the exam? By crime, you can do it in the order that the crimes first appear, but with murder, you have to jump from A to E. Then the rapes are B, E, and F if you include the statutory, B, E, and F. You have to read it the second time to catch all the rapes. And then there's robbery, and you go through for a third pass, and you get robbery, robbery. 3 passes, not so efficient. By defendant, there are only 3 real defendants here, the H's. And again, you have to make 3 passes. First, you get all the Harry claims, A, Harry's murder, B, Harry's rape, where Harry robs Hagrid. Then you go back, Hagrid here commits his own robbery at 7-Eleven, and then statutory rape of Hermione, and then Hermione's own crime of raping and killing Harry. Okay, 3 passes. Oh, what if we do it by injury in the order that it actually appears? Ron's injured, A. Hermione's injured, B. 7-Eleven and giant soda machine is injured, C. Harry here, Hagrid's injured by the robbery, D. Harry's injured by the rape and murder, E. And Hermione's injured here, F. 1 pass, no fuss, no muss. Now, you're not going to just read the fact pattern 1 time, but this is a clear demonstration. If you do it by injury, you just go and you follow the fact pattern as it happens. You write the claims down, and all other things being equal, you don't have to read the facts as many times. There are 2 exceptions to this rule. One is to remember that with Crim, you always start with conspiracy. So you can still follow the by injury approach, but instead you first look for all the conspiracies and then list all the individual injuries. That'll make your life easier, because if you analyze the conspiracy first, you'll be able to analyze the accessorial liability that arises through the fact pattern as you go. Second, you have to do what your professor wants. If your professor doesn't want you to do it by injury, which is the only rational way to do it, but wants it organized by crime or defendant, you got to organize it by crime or defendant. You got to do that's your professor drinking your big gulp, unless you take it from him by getting an A.